Uh-oh. Hey, hey, hey. I know that it has been a while since I've gone live on my Facebook page. That's why I was like, I need to make this happen. Here we go. Hey y'all, go ahead and say hey in the comments. I'm just trying to get everything set up. So responding to me lets me know that you can hear me. It lets me know that the tech is working. It lets me know that my signal is strong. So go ahead and say hey in the comments. Let me know where you're from. Let me know whether or not you are an aspiring author looking to write and publish your book and create legacy and establish authority, or whether you are already a published author looking to grow and scale. Let me know in the comments. Hey, LaRonda. And you might hear my kids in the background. My son is actually asleep. I got to give y'all a heads up. My son is asleep. So when he wakes up, he's likely going to come in here. So if he comes in here, be patient with me. He's 4. And my daughter is upstairs. It's Christmas break, okay? All right. So I'm just getting set up on Facebook and on Instagram. And sometimes it can take a minute to get set up on all these places. When you're doing it the old school way, just by streaming from different devices. But I'm actually about to get some software that will just stream everywhere at one time. So I wasn't trying to do it, but I'm gonna go ahead and get that done, so y'all don't have to be sitting up here waiting. All right. Hey, Ingeborg. It says I have a manuscript looking for publishing. So that means that you're looking for someone to publish it for you. Let me ask you something. Have you thought about publishing it yourself, or is there any reason why you may prefer someone to do it for you? I'm just curious. Hey y'all, hey everybody. I see everybody coming in. Go ahead in the comments, let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you are here with me. It lets me know that my signal is strong, and it lets me know that the tech is working. Tanya Collier says, I'm from Michigan. I'm looking to turn all of my journals into a #1 bestseller. Hey, well, you were in the right place. You are definitely in the right place. Okay, here we go. All right, I was about to say, because Instagram was acting real janky. This is my first time going live on Instagram since they've changed everything up. Here we go. All right, so we're good to go now. Olympia said, Olympia has made an offer but wants me to pay $3,000. It does cost. It does cost. An investment is required, but one of the things about it is that you have to understand and you have to determine whether or not that investment works for you for a one-time fee, or whether or not you should invest that same amount of money into actually learning how to do it yourself, so that you can cut out the middleman, develop a skill that will allow you to publish and create content and books on your own when you want to, without having a middleman, and allow you to do it for others. So I see a lot of people on tonight on Facebook. A lot of y'all done came on. Hey. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Hello everyone on Instagram as well. we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Like I was saying earlier, my son is asleep. So I want to try to get as much in as possible before he wakes up. Hello, hello, hello to everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jasmine Womack, and I work with corporate professionals to help them package their expertise and turn it into a best-selling book so that they can establish a legacy for their families, establish themselves as an authority in their field, and create an additional stream of revenue through being an impactful author and building a six-figure speaking and coaching business. So I'm the person that you want to come to when you want to write, publish, market, and launch an impactful book that is going to get you paid. Okay, I'm the person for that. Hey, Dominique. Hey. Hello, everyone. So tonight we're talking about 7 keys to becoming a six-figure author. And for those of you all who may already make 6 figures, then for you, this would be an additional 6 figures for you. This would be an additional stream of revenue through author book sales, through speaking, and through coaching. It's not only about the money. Okay, the money, yes, does give you freedom to do the things that you want to do in your life, and as well as make an impact in the world, because we can't really help others in mass if we're broke. Like, let's just keep it all the way real. Okay, but it's also about establishing legacy. It's about changing bloodlines. It's about providing people with information that shifts the trajectory of their lives and their careers and their business. That's what happens when you write a book. That's what happens when you package your expertise, and you do so in such a way that allows you to teach others and pulls them in because they can relate to what you're saying. So I'm really excited to be here tonight. It's been a minute since I've gone live. I've been really, really busy in the back end setting up all my systems, like literally the past quarter. So getting ready for the new year. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I definitely want to make sure that I make great use of time, especially before my son wakes up and comes in here. So I have my notes right here. Make sure that you have your notes, your pen, and your paper. So 7 keys to becoming a six-figure author. And we're talking about 6 figures. We're talking about starting out with 6-figure years, and then as you grow and scale, you can grow and scale to 6-figure months, 6-figure weeks, and eventually 6-figure days. And yes, that is extremely possible, because right now as an author, I have about 3 speaking proposals totaling about 2.5 hours waiting on me to approve, and they're worth about 11 grand. And that's a month of work just from that stream of income, not even including the books. Okay, so yes, it's very, very possible. All right, and this is coming from someone who started out as a middle school language arts teacher. I was a middle school language arts teacher. If you're new to me, I was a middle school language arts teacher for 12 years before I bet on myself, wrote my first book, literally about the horrendous experiences that I encountered in my 20s. All right. And it was meant to be a book to teach college-age women how to make better choices in life. And that book is 20 Pearls of Wisdom, A Woman's Guide to Self-Preservation. We talk about faith, finances, relationships, and career building and relationships. And even now, I'm still selling books. Even now, as I move into the college speaking market, I'm able to still take that book from 5 years ago, create workshops for it, and get paid 4 and 5 figures. So yes. If you don't have a book, you need to write it. And we're going to talk about it tonight, about 7 keys to becoming a 6-figure author. Make sure that you have your notes. This is going to stay up for a little while. I'm not sure that I'm going to keep it up. So number 1 is that you need to know your numbers. Key number 1 is that you need to know your numbers. To get to 6 figures a year means that you want to make $8,333.33. Okay? And that's revenue. That's not including expenses. But if you're just trying to get to become a 6-figure author, which is probably the hardest to get there, but it's easy, if that makes sense, because you have to do a lot of mindset work. You got to do a lot of mindset work to get there. It's easy to do it, but it's hard to get there because you have to be willing to break mindsets, especially if you're still working. There's a transition and a shift that occurs as you go from being an employee to actually becoming an entrepreneur. And there are some belief systems that you have to break and change. There are some mindsets and some habits that you have to shift. There are some new rooms that you need to get into. There are some changes that you have to make, because the change starts internally first before you actually see the external result. And that's the truth. That is the utmost truth. You literally have to get to a point where you start, especially when you're at work, you have to, and you hear people complaining about things, complaining about money. It has to go in one and out the other, and you can't engage in those conversations. You can't engage in the conversations when people are complaining, and people are probably going to think you're stuck up, all that kind of stuff. It got to the point when I was working, I would sit at a table at lunch by myself, because I would utilize my lunch period to study. I would utilize my lunch period to read a book or to study something with mindset. And even my principal would come over to me and she'd be like, "Why are you over by yourself? You know, why aren't you over there with the other teachers?" And I'm like, I'm doing something that they aren't doing. And that was my last year working there at that school. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Let me stick to topic. You need to know your numbers. So it takes $8,333.33 per month to get to $100,000 at the end of 12 months. So the first thing you need to know is, how much do you need to make in your business? How much do you need to make in your business to cover your living expenses? You need to know your numbers. How much are your bills every month? Entertainment, tithes, savings, your mortgage, your utilities, all of that. If you're married, how much do you need to make to replace what you're already bringing in? Okay, that was the first thing that I did. I'm like, okay, I'm making this amount per month. The first goal that I have is to replace my salary. My salary was not six figures, but that was the first goal that I had, was to replace my salary in my business. Because while you might be making upper five or six figures on your job, to do it by yourself and to generate that revenue is a totally different mindset. It's a totally different energy. It really, truly is. So the first thing you need to know is that you need to know your numbers. How much do you need to make in your business to cover your living expenses, to continue paying for healthcare and retirement, to put into your savings? How much do you need to make to cover your business expenses, meaning your systems that you need to run and operate your business? This is one of the reasons why I literally spent this year cutting down a lot. And you're always learning, always growing, right? And so I went from having websites and landing pages to an all-in-one system. And people look at it and they're like, okay, well, that's expensive. I'm like, well, it depends on how you look at it. If I can get everything that I need in one system for $150 flat fee, and I know I can budget that, then I don't have to worry about what happens when my email list grows past $1,000 and now this email service provider is going to increase my fee. I don't have to worry about the limit that I might have on landing pages or the website. I have everything all in one, right? So you need to know how much it's actually going to cost you to actually run your business. And business savings. You're creating a business. I use Kajabi, and if you want my link, let me just DM me and I can send you my link. I use Kajabi. Kajabi houses my website, my checkout pages, my landing pages, my email lists. It houses my courses, my coaching, the modules for my coaching programs. It allows me to communicate through announcements only with the people in my coaching programs, my students. It has a built-in community feature so that those of you all who want to move off of Facebook and you want a community, it has a built-in community feature in there. It has an app so people can access all of your content directly from the app. It literally has everything that you need to run a successful online business. The only thing it's missing is a calendar. The only thing it's missing is a calendar. So I use a Kajabi. It's Kajabi. And if you would like to use my affiliate link, because I do partner with Kajabi, I do trainings with Kajabi about at least once a quarter. Make sure you DM me and I can send you my link, so that will allow me to get credit for referring you. And that matters because they need people of color. They need black folks. You know, we need to be represented in those spaces, in the coaching spaces. All right. And so they need to know, like, a black woman is sending more black folks. And you need to, since I'm sending business to you and I'm talking about your platform, you need to put me in front of your audience to train them. Point blank, period. And I see some questions. I'm going to get to the questions at the end because I am recording this, okay? And I'm going to use this. So I do see your questions. If you're on Instagram, I do the Q&A at the end. Same on Facebook, okay? All right. So just in case you didn't catch it, make sure that you take my quiz to figure out what type of book you should write to boost your brand or career. You can go to www.startmybookquiz.com if you're interested in working with me at the top of 2021 to get your book written in 3 days and published within 12, launched in your coaching program created within 12 weeks. Then go to www.authormadeeasybootcamp.com to apply. And those of you all who are already published authors and you're looking to grow to 6 figures in scale through becoming a 6-figure storyteller, that's through speaking, through coaching, and through automating your sales from the stage and learning how to build your team, make sure that you send me a DM so I can send you information about the mastermind so that you can apply. Okay? So, yes, you need to know your numbers. You need to know how much you need to make to run your business. You need to know how much you need to make to take care of all your living expenses. How much is it going to cost you to cover the cost of running your business and also putting up for business savings? So in the event that you have those slow months, you still have revenue there. Okay? That's the first thing that you need to do, is to replace your income. You need to know how much you need in order to do that. And then it's actually moving to that 6-figure mark of $8,333.33. You need to know your numbers. Number 2, the second key to becoming a 6-figure author, okay, is that you must write a book that solves a problem. I know that I sound like a broken record with saying this. I know I sound like a broken record with saying this because I know that I say it all the time. Those of you all, you want to write a book to give hope to the helpless, that is not specific enough. You want to write a book to talk about everything traumatic that happened to you when you were a child. That is, I don't want to be mean, but nobody cares about the memoirs. They don't. The memoirs are not going to get you paid speaking engagements. The memoirs are not going to get you corporate contracts. Now, what you can do is teach lessons and strategies that you learn to come up out of that and change your life. And you can strategically infuse your personal and professional experiences in with that, because you have to know your audience and be able to connect to your reader. But no, we're not just writing books. If you just want to write a book about your life story, that's cool. But this probably isn't for you. You're probably going to sell a few books to your friends and to your family and go speak at the church functions where they're going to give you a fruit basket and a $25 money order. I'm telling you the truth. If you want to grow a 6-figure author, speaking, and coaching business, you have to come with more than talking about your personal story. I just want to share my story. I want to write a memoir. You can be my guest. This isn't for you. And likely, if that's you, you won't have the mindset to pay me, because I'm not cheap to work with. Nothing is cheap that I do. Nothing is cheap that I do, because my authors get results. Okay? I'm not sorry, but I have to let y'all know this because I see it all the time. I see it all the time. You have to understand the value that you have in your story. And once you take the attention off of you and put the focus on how can I create a product that is valuable to someone else? How can I create a book that can help someone else solve a problem that they're having? How can I create a book that's going to help someone increase their confidence so that they can actually go after their goals and break this cycle of procrastination? How can I share my story in such a way that's going to help a woman up-level her mindset so that she can be a better mother to her children and not take her children through the same emotional and verbal abuse that she experienced as a child? Like you gotta like really get specific about that thing. How can I write a book that where I can help married couples create stronger marriages so that they can be more productive and happier in their lives and at work? Why? Because people who are stressed out, their focus is going to be off when they're at work. They won't be as productive. You got to solve a problem. You got to come with a solution. You have to tie everything that you do to a solution. And this is, if you looked at my post yesterday, I talked about being able to spin your topic. Yes, you got to be able to understand. You have to be able to take your core message and figure out how you can align your message with the problems that people, associations, organizations, and schools need solved. How can you spin it? So like, for instance, I have a client who wrote a book about making friends. And in one of our boot camp coaching, weekly coaching sessions, we broke down to her how to actually take that book and how she could spin it for media pitches, for podcast interviews, and for corporations on how you can actually build relationships with others in your space to create stronger teams. How to make friendships, and you can spin that into how to build relationships so that you can make stronger teams and increase the productivity and increase the results among your teams at work. You see how we could spin that? So what I want you to do is honestly sit down and determine, do I have a book, or in my book, do I talk about a topic or a theme in which we can spin it and align it so that it actually solves the problems of people and companies and organizations and schools and students? This is what you got to think about. You got to think outside of the box. It's way more than just, oh, I want to write and publish a book. Okay, you want to write and publish a book, and then do what? What is your plan beyond the book? And this is one of the reasons why when people come to me, they're like, yeah, I've been watching you, woo-woo-woo, I really want to work with you, but then when I tell them the price, they want to run away. Why? You don't think that you're worth it? Do you not realize the value in your story and how that can yield a return for you for years and years and years to come, literally the rest of your life, when you position yourself appropriately, when you position yourself as an authority in your field? But if all you want to do is write a book and publish a book and talk about yourself, then you're not going to be able to do that. All right, so let's go to number 3. You need to know and understand your intended audience. You need to know their problems. You need to understand their challenges. This is another space where a lot of authors fall off. You're not doing enough research. You just go and write the book because you want to write a book. You don't take the time to conduct the research about the people who you're writing the book for. So that way, so what happens is that, oh, I want to write a book for who? Oh, it's for everybody. It's for anybody who needs it. No, it's not. And if that's you, you're going to stay a broke author. You're not going to become a six-figure storyteller. You're going to stay a broke author. Okay? You need to understand your audience, their problems, their challenges, so that when you actually write your book, you can write your book as if you are writing to one person. Again, If you're trying to figure out what type of book you should write to boost your brand or career, I want you to go and take the quiz at www.startmybookquiz.com. Okay? Number 4, you need to write your book. The 4th key to becoming a 6-figure author. You need to write a book with the intention of speaking and coaching. You need to write a book with the intention of speaking and coaching. Why do I say that? Because you're not going to become a 6-figure storyteller by flipping $10 and $20 books from your trunk. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to become a 6-figure storyteller by only depending on individual book sales. That might work in the beginning when you launch. But this is one of the key reasons why so many authors launch their books. They see a lot of success and support because your friends, your family, people who've been watching you, they're going to support and and purchase your book. But 90 days later, then what? That tells the truth about what you're doing. And that's really when the work starts. So you need to write a book with the intention of speaking and coaching. Why do I say that? As an author, you need to be speaking because it's going to allow you to get in front of curated audiences. And if you choose the proper speaking engagements, you can go and specifically speak to your target audience and someone else has already put it together because they're throwing the event. So once you get up on stage, that's automatic authority, automatic credibility. Okay? And if you do a great job, then they're going to buy your book and then they're going to come and want to work with you. You have to have something else to provide them. A 4 or 5 figure author, offer a 4 or 5 figure offer for a set number of weeks. This is how you begin to grow. If I was only depending on individual book sales, $10, $20 book sales, I would not have hit 6 figures within 8 months not 8 months, I stopped teaching in May of 2018. I hit my first 5-figure month 3 months later. If I would not have done that, I would not have hit 6 figures 90 days after leaving my job. I just would not have. It wouldn't have happened. Okay? You have to write with the intention of speaking and coaching. Why? Speaking is an automatic lead generator. You don't have to worry about going out to do webinars. You don't have to worry about doing all these different ebooks and trying to because even when you do all of that, you still have to generate traffic. Speaking is probably the easiest way to generate traffic. It definitely is. And once someone is able to listen to you speak for 30 minutes, they become what's called a warm lead. They're warmed up to you. They either like you or they don't. And if they do like you, they're going to come and want to learn and understand how to continue to do more business with you. I told you my son was asleep. Come on. All right. We went to the park today, guys, and we were at the park for about 3 hours. And so you can see he's still sucking his thumb that we're trying to break. And he's still asleep. But he's in the middle of waking up. All right? So yes, you must write a book with the intention of speaking and coaching. And this is one of the reasons why when I ask anybody, what is your plan for after the book is released? What's your plan? Because you have to have a plan. You have to know or have an idea of where you want to go and what you want to do with your book. Or else you're going to stay a broke author. What's your plan? Where are you going to speak? What's your coaching program going to be about? It should be an extension of your book. Everything should be aligned to your book. Okay? Let me hurry up before he wakes up for real. Number 5. This is where people fall off. The 5th key to becoming a 6-figure author. Take the time to refine your processes and procedures. Take the time to refine your processes and procedures. I see too many people trying to grow and scale too quickly. You want to just go ahead and start a group coaching program and you don't really have any clue about what you're going to do. This is why I tell my authors the first thing you need to do is start a one-on-one coaching program. That's the first thing you need to do. And you need to charge 4 figures for it. Starting a one-on-one coaching program when you've never really coached before is going to allow you to get your frameworks, your methodology down pat. It's going to allow you to see the gaps within your processes, your procedures, and your system. It's going to allow you to see the gaps in the curriculum that you teach so that you can go back and actually refine it, improve it, create content within your curriculum that answers your students' questions before they even ask it, and ultimately help your students get the very best results. This is one of the key reasons why we have a 100% accomplish rate in my program. Because I didn't just go and create something. I literally spent years refining the process, understanding each and every nook and cranny. And then like even afterwards, I'm like, okay, this is how my students are doing after they leave the program. They're having trouble with this, or they're still coming back asking these questions. Let me refine my program and make it even better so that they get the whole entire shebang. So when they leave, not only do they have the skills to write a book, because let me tell you this, if you hire a ghostwriter, a quality ghostwriter is 5 figures by itself, not including publishing and all of that. But not only do you have the skills to write a book without having a ghostwriter, but you have the skills to publish, market, launch, and create and launch your one-on-one coaching program. It's a whole entire system. You don't need to go anywhere else to figure out how to do anything because you got it all. Now with that, I had to increase the price, obviously, but you don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to go and write a book and publish it, and 90 days later you're trying to figure out what to do, because now you already know what to do and you know how to do it. Okay, so you need to, and I'm saying it to say I would not have been able to improve my program in that manner had I not taken the time to refine my processes, had I not taken the time to actually analyze and assess my students, their successes pre, during, and post working with me, and had I not actually taken the time to improve the structure of my curriculum. You have to understand that you have to be extremely clear on the results that you can actually help people obtain. And at that point, you can raise your prices and demand premium price. $10,000 and up, because you are very clear on what you're able to help people do. Because one thing's for certain, when you work with me, you don't leave the same as you came. Your life is forever changed. And the same should be for you when clients come to work with you. Okay? The other thing about that is that you must have integrity in your work. You got to have integrity when it comes to the services that you provide to people. People are paying their hard-earned money to get a result. You have to know and understand what it is that you provide, be able to articulate that and actually provide it. But if you don't know your processes, your procedures, and your curriculum in and out, and you're just taking people's money without anything to offer them, you're operating out of integrity, and you're going to reap the karma for that. Whatever that looks like, however that may be. Okay? The sixth key to becoming a six-figure author is that you need to speak. And I touched on this earlier. Whether that means speaking for free, not being afraid to pay to get into the right rooms. And I'm not just saying pay to go speak at a conference. If this conference or if this brunch or event does not have or contain your target audience, don't pay them. But if your target audience is there and you know that you can get on stage, speak, sell books, and then funnel those people into your coaching programs and turn that investment into a 5-figure return, then yeah, go pay. I paid before to speak at events, paid for the plane ticket to get there, paid for the hotel, sure did, and made close to $10,000 in sales from that event. Sure did. Because that in the room, it was full of women entrepreneurs. It was worth the investment because I made a return on my investment 10 times over. That's another thing that has allowed me to grow the business to where I have. In the first quarter of, actually we're slated to do our first 7-figure year next year. But in the first quarter, we will have hit 7 figures in sales. In the past 3 years. And this is me starting from scratch, getting out the mud, starting as a classroom teacher. I didn't get to that point by nickel and diamond. I hired the best of the best coaches, and they were not and are not cheap. Okay? So I said that to say sometimes, yeah, you can go speak for free, but yeah, sometimes you do have to pay to get on the stages. You can't be afraid of that. But if you're going to pay, it needs to be worth your while. You need to be able to see how you can obtain an investment you need to be able to see how you can obtain a return from that investment because you know that you are speaking to a curated audience that contains your target, your ideal client. And they're going to buy your books and then come in and become clients of yours. Okay? If you're going to speaking about one topic, if you're going to speak about one topic and your book is about another topic and the audience, isn't even interested in that, you're wasting your money. Okay? And the 7th key, you must be willing to invest in yourself. I can't tell you how many times people reach out to me and they say, I've been watching you for a while. I see the results that you help your clients get. I'm ready to work with you. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the information that you need. Here's the price. And then they try to run away because they don't want to pay. I'm like, if you see these testimonials about my clients booking out, $10,000 in sales 30 days in advance or booking, $40,000 in corporate contracts, did you think you think it's gonna be cheap for you to learn how to do that? Like, honestly, like that was Dr. Ramon, that was 1 month of literally 1 month of sales for him that he's gonna go on to do over and over and over again. And one of the things that I see is a lot of people, you want the result, but you don't want to make the sacrifice. You don't want to make a one-time investment so that you can get the return month after month after month after month after month. It's not a $97 product and it's not a $1,000 home study course. It's absolutely not. Not to have someone to actually be there to correct you and guide you and say, hey, you're doing this wrong. This is what you need to do instead to get this result. One of my coaches said, she told somebody, and I said, I'm going to take that. She said, I'm not going to convince you to allow me to help you change your life. And I was like, oh, that's good. And I tell people that. I'm like, I'm not going to convince you to let me help you change your life. Like, if you've been sitting back watching me for the past 3 months, if you've seen the results that my clients get, then you already know what it is. It's a matter of fact of not do you believe in me and my processes, but do you believe that you're worth the investment? Do you believe in yourself enough to pick up and follow through? That's really what the question is. It's not a question of me because I'm proven. I would not have been featured in Forbes twice if I didn't know what I was talking about. I wouldn't have done it for myself or help other clients do it. And so no, it's not for cheap. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. and believe in yourself enough to know that you're worth it. Because one thing's for certain, if you don't make the move, and if anytime somebody says a price that scares you and you run away, one thing's for certain is that you're going to remain in the same place, doing the same thing, getting the same results. And if you know that you're not where you want to be right now and you're in a similar of a place that you were last year, then you need to make a change. You need to make a change. You need to get into some different rooms. You need to learn some different strategies and skills so you can literally change your life. So that you can get out of the situation where you don't have to worry about not having enough. All right? And bonus number 8. This really should have been number 1. You must honor God in everything that you do and follow your own path. Stop looking at everybody else out here. Stop looking at everybody, trying to do everything that they do. Like there are a lot of different ways to get to hit your goal. But yeah, you do have to find the way that works for you. You do. But in everything that you do, honor God. Because you got to remember that all the work that you do at the end of the day is to bring people back to Christ. It's to help people change their lives. It's to help people break generational curses. It's to help people break mindsets that they've had, that they've been trapped in for years and years and years. It's literally, you're doing soul work as an author, as a speaker, as a coach. But you can't help anybody else do it unless you've done it yourself. Honor God in every single thing that you do. Follow your own path. Cut out the noise. Stop looking at all these people. Stop comparing yourself to them. Mute them. Unfollow them. Do what you need to do. Anything or anybody that is causing you to question yourself, anything or anybody that is causing you to dim your own light, you need to stop. You need to guard your eye gates, guard your ear gates, and literally put your blinders on and cut it off. Stop following. So that's it, guys. I hope that this was helpful for you. Again, definitely, if you're trying to figure out what type of book you should write to boost your brand or career, you can take the quiz at www.startmybookquiz.com. If you're interested in working with me in Q1, to write your book in a weekend and publish, market, promote, and launch your book and jumpstart your one-on-one coaching program within 12 weeks, definitely go to www.authormadeeasybootcamp.com. And if you are already a published author trying to figure out how to grow and scale your book, okay, you need to apply to join my mastermind. You can send me a DM and I'll send you the link that provides you more information about the 12-month program. And I'll give you the link to apply. All right. I hope that this was helpful. Let's get in some Q&A. I know some people asked some cute questions earlier, but I always like to, guys, it's my teaching background. I don't like stopping instruction to answer a lot of questions. I used to do it with middle schoolers because they were middle schoolers. But when I'm filming, I don't like stopping instruction to answer questions because it messes up the flow of the class. Whether you realize it or not, this is a class. But now it is time for Q&A. And so I'm going back to check out the questions. I answered that question. What system do I use? I use Kajabi. Thank you, LaRonda, for your amazing comments. Let me look on, you can put questions down in the question box. I don't see any questions on Instagram in the question box. If you have a question, you can put it in the question box. I'm scrolling up. I see a lot of people have peeked in. Let's see. Speak to Live says, did you have a coach while you were trying to match your salary income? And how were you able to manage all those changes? That was a great question. I keep a coach or two. I was never without a coach. So my first coach was with where my mindset was at that time, and it was in what I thought I could afford. So my first coach, honestly, was in a membership community for speakers, coaches, and authors. And that membership community was called Grindation. And that's where I started. And for me, it was like I started at $49 a month, honestly. And it was literally motivational calls every week. And for me, that was what I needed at that time when I started. And the reason why I needed that was because I was a mom, I was a wife, you know, nobody around me was doing anything that I was trying to do. And I knew that I needed to be connected to other people who were doing, who were going in the same direction. And I needed the guidance of somebody who had done it and who had done it successfully. So when I started wanting more hands-on or one-on-one, I up-leveled my coaching. It was like $100 a month, and I got one 30-minute session per month. That's what I did. It was like $100. His prices have drastically increased now. He doesn't even do that anymore. He doesn't even do one-on-one stuff like that unless you're paying him like close to anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000. But back then, when I started in these group coaching sessions, I leveled up and I paid like $100 a month for like one 30-minute session per month. And leveling up to the $99, one 30-minute session per month helped me to generate $2,500 a month on autopilot. And to think that I made thousands of dollars in repeat revenue when I initially was scared to pay $100 a month. So after that, I went up to like, I think I was paying like $500 a month for one-on-one access to be able to ask questions, send text messages. Yeah, so I started out at $49, went to $99, and then went to like $500 a month just so I could get access. Because I had gotten to the point, I'm like, if I have a question, I need somebody to ask this question to without having to wait. So I was paying like $500 a month. Our sessions went from 30 minutes to an hour every 2 weeks. And then I was able to ask questions through the text. I was just able to send quick text because I ain't nobody that always need to get on the phone. Here go a quick question I need to answer. But what happened is that he stopped answering my text messages, which started forcing me to figure stuff out. Which is what happens when you're an entrepreneur. You can't be crippled, always dependent on somebody. You gotta have a certain level of figure it outness. So I wanted to get into high ticket coaching. And around that time, I knew that it was coming time for me to leave my job because me and some people in admin, we were not getting along. I knew that I had something valuable because I was already generating. Yes. You hungry? Okay, let mommy finish up, then we'll eat dinner, okay? You want some frozen mangoes? Okay, give me a second. You spoiled. Give me a second and I'll get you some, okay? Let me finish up. So, I forgot what I was saying. But, I remember. So, it was coming time for me to leave my job. I was already making between $600 and $7,500 per month on autopilot. And I knew that I had something cooking. But I couldn't figure out, my goal was to get to $10,000 a month. I couldn't figure out how to make the jump from an inconsistent 6 and 7 figures to consistent 10 grand per month. So I hired a coach for a VIP day from Instagram. We're still super tight to this day. I paid her for a VIP day. I remember that was the first major coaching purchase that I had ever done. Like literally to pay somebody $2,000 to spend 5 hours with them. She sent me, we chatted. She sent me the invoice. I was going to do the payment plan. I said, bump it. I'm just going to go ahead and pay it. Paid it off in one swoop, $2,000. That was like my first major coaching purchase. And basically, we went through all of my offerings, restructured everything, restructured my pricing, and 90 days later, after I did that, I was booked out $20,000 in clients, and I had my first 5-figure month. I had hit about $10,500 for the first time in my life. And to think that a $2,000 investment almost stopped me. I haven't made anything less than that since, and that was 3 years ago. Matter of fact, if that's all I make in a month, that's a really, really bad month for me. Like, honestly, like that's not even an option, to be honest with you. But that was 3 years ago. And I'm forever grateful that I believed in myself enough, and I prayed and used discernment and used God's guidance. And I hired a coach. I paid them in full. And 3 months later, not only did I make my investment back, but I hit my first 5-figure month and was booked out $20,000 in contracts. And so this is why when I hear people and when I come in contact with people and they hear a price and the first thing they do is say, oh, I can't do it, instead of trying to figure out how they can do it, instead of looking at their credit cards, instead of maybe looking at their retirement or whatnot, instead of trying to figure out how they can, especially for folks who claim they got a coaching program. If you got a coaching program, you should be able to invest in coaching for yourself. If you have a coaching program and you can't even invest in your own coaching, that's telling me that something is wrong with your pricing and something is wrong with your offers and something is wrong with your pricing, your offer, your messaging, and your marketing. Someone came into my DM the other day and she wanted to join my program, and then she started talking about how she couldn't afford it, X, Y, Z. I was like, but you have a coaching program, right? I said, give me everything, give me your coaching options and tell me what you have in your coaching program. She gave it to me. It was an entire mess. The first thing that I said is that we're going to eliminate these one-on-one sessions because those are inconsistent and it's not going to help you create repeatable revenue. A one-on-one session for 45 minutes is not going to help you do that. It's not going to help you get to where you want to be unless you charge a high ticket for it. And in regards to your coaching program, it needs to be reduced to 8 weeks. And I said you need to remove all of this and focus on providing this particular service, and you need to increase the price to this amount. I said if you get 2 clients, that'll cover the cost of your investment for the program. Boom. And she was like, oh, the light bulb went off. She was like, oh my gosh, this makes total sense. I'm like, of course it does. If you have a coaching program and you say that you're a coach, then and you can't afford the coaching that you need to help you get to the next level, that's the very reason why you need to pay. So that you can get out of your situation and change your life. Going back to my story. So yes, I had invested $2,000 in that coach. That was the first coach I had ever paid $2,000 at one time. 90 days later, I was booked out $20,000 in contracts from clients, and I had my first 5-figure month. And that was the beginning of it. Like, after that, I mean, I've always kept a coach, whether it has been investing in VIP days. Now I've gotten in programs, but now the coaches that I hire are $20,000 and $30,000 because they are 7-figure earners. And I know that if I'm trying to get to 7 figures in a year, then I need to learn from the people who are doing it effortlessly. Effortlessly. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. I keep a coach. Always have. But when it comes to coaching, I've been very blessed to choose great coaches. And one of the things that I do is that I don't choose coaches based on what other people are saying and doing. I look for what I need and I observe them to see if they are who they say they are. What are the results that they're helping people get? Who were their clients? What do their clients do? What results are they getting in their business? What is their messaging? How are they speaking? And then I get in and I talk to them. I ask questions. I go to their website. I look through every page on the website. A lot of y'all try to hire folks and you have done absolutely no research on them. And you hire folks to help you with stuff that's not their expertise. And this is why, like, even for instance, when people come to me and they're like, hey, I need an editor, or I have a children's book. I'm like, you have not. I'm like, you're insulted. I feel insulted. I'm like, because you have not taken one moment to even read my Instagram bio. Because if you read my Instagram bio, that would let you know off top that I don't edit books. I have a team of editors reserved for those in my coaching program, but I don't edit books, and I definitely don't do children's books. You don't see a children's book nowhere on my website or my Instagram feed. Why are you in my inbox asking me about children's books? It's because you have not done your research. And when you don't do your research and you go out and ask people for help, you set yourself up to be taken advantage of, because everybody out here does not have good character. They're just looking for the sale. And so if you want to protect yourself, you have to do your due diligence and do your research, especially when you're talking about investing your money to learn a skill. And not only that, when you make the investment, you have to do the work. Making the investment does not mean that it's going to happen by itself. Making the investment, unless you're making a level of investment for someone to do the work for you, it still doesn't mean that you're totally absolved from any responsibility. There are still things you have to do. But even when you pay a coach and you hire a coach, you have to be coachable. You have to listen to what they say. You got to do what they say the way that they say do it, so that you can have the results. And then once you figure out, okay, this doesn't work for me, once you become experienced enough to understand, okay, this isn't working for me, but let me tweak this to make it work for me in this type of way. Boom. But you still have to do the work. I can't tell y'all how many people go and pay coaches and then they don't do nothing. They just sit there. They say stuck in their heads. So I hope to answer that question. And you said, how were you able to manage all those changes? Because it was a goal of mine. So it wasn't an option. And that's another thing, another mistake that I see a lot of people, a lot of aspiring authors or even published authors making. You make your book, you make speaking, you make coaching an option. And so when you make it an option, then it's going to treat you like an option. You have to make it priority. You have to put in the work. You got to work towards it and work at it every single day. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. I don't care if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. You got to do something towards your goal every single day. If you treat it like an option, it's going to treat you like an option. So me, I knew that I had a divine drive pushing me on the inside of me. And I said, this has to work. There's no plan B. I know the goals that I have. I know the time freedom that I want with my family. I know the income freedom that I want for myself and for my family. I know the type of legacy that I'm trying to build. I know that I want to give scholarships. I want to sponsor families. Me and a group of my friends, we were in the chat in our text message group yesterday, and one of my friends is a 7-figure speaker. She books $500,000 contracts. Like, she's made over $1 million in corporate speaking this year. And her and her husband were sponsored 50 families for Christmas. And we were like, oh, that's amazing. I'm talking about operating on that level. I told him, I said, one of my goals is to give $100,000 worth of scholarships. I want to either give $10,000 scholarships to education majors attending HBCUs, or $25,000 scholarships to education majors attending HBCUs. I want to give $100,000 worth of scholarships. Those are goals of mine. So because I know the goals that I have that extend past myself, you know, that the goals that I have for my family, for myself, and the goals that I have to help others, that's what keeps me going. It's not an option. So to manage it, you make it happen. So sometimes it's outsourcing, because if I can, you know, make $10,000 in a weekend versus taking 3 hours to clean my home, let me call in the cleaning ladies, pay them $300 to clean my house while I can go and make 10. But we don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to do that. But this is how I look at it. Like, I can save time, put my time in. I can put my time and energy into chilling out with my kids without having to spend the whole day cleaning. So one of the ways that I managed those changes was that I started outsourcing. Another way that I was able to manage the changes, particularly when I had gotten so busy and I would literally leave work, put my kids to bed, and then be up all night working on editing and publishing, and have 2 hours of sleep, that's when I said it's time for me to hire a team. That's when I hired a team of editors and I stopped editing. And my editors have been with me for 4 years. And I paid them because they worked for my company at that point, and they edited. Why? Because I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't operate on 2 hours of sleep every single night. I had literally grown my business to the point where I grew out of certain roles. And as a CEO, that's what happens. You're not meant to do everything and do all the things. And this is one of the things I teach in my mastermind. You got to know when it's time for you to actually start delegating and hiring help. So what happened was that when I hired a team of editors, I had 4 editors. Then what happened? My income skyrocketed because I could take more business. I wasn't the only person doing everything. Then I hired an assistant. I taught her the whole entire process. This is back when I actually used to provide services. And so she was doing all the back end work of uploading stuff, doing everything. She was basically the project manager and communicating with the design team. And I was able to take myself out of doing role to actually manage, to actually being the manager. And because now I had a team, we could manage it and we were able to handle more business. And my income and revenue skyrocketed. I was able to help other people generate extra revenue. We were able to help all of these authors. It was a win-win on every situation. But it was a win-win all around. But one of the reasons why people aren't able to aren't able to manage the growth of their business is because you stay stuck with trying to do everything all the time. I just outsourced something else. I just hired I've been experimenting and testing out different copywriters over the past year. I just found one, and if she works out, it's clutch. I said, I'm not writing a word sales page copy again in my life if I can help it. Because I can use that time for something else. I've hired a sales page designer. She designs all my sales pages and make them real pretty and professional. I'm not designing another sales page in my life. What does that mean? That means that's about 5 hours that I can go do something else. That's how I manage. But I didn't start out with the whole entire team. I started out with just me, and I grew. And this is what I was saying, going back to key number 5, taking the time to refine your processes and procedures. This isn't just with your clients, but it's also with yourself and in your business. Understanding what you need to be able to grow. I knew that moment, that week, oh my goodness, I will never forget it because I was crying. I was so tired. It was a week I was stressed out at work, and I had client deadlines to fill, and I had all these books that had to be edited. And I was staying up after I put my kids to bed all night to edit these manuscripts. And I remember going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 6 to get my kids up. And I said, I cannot do this. And it was because I had a coach. My coach was just like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to have to quit. I can't handle this. He was like, you don't quit. You just hire some people to help you. And he was like, don't turn down money. You just hire some people to help you so that you can take it off of you. You grow and expand. I was like, why didn't I think of that? And I had all my editors right there. Because they were people that I had already worked with. Or editors, or some of them were editors who had worked with some of my coaches, and they had been watching me, and they had been reaching out to me. Hey, do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? The whole time I had been turning them down. I reached out to them when I was ready. I'm like, I'm ready. We came up with their rates. They signed an independent contract agreement. Boom. In a week, I had 4 editors on my team, and we were able to take on. It wasn't just me. Now I was able to do 4 times the amount of work. Even now, I have an executive assistant. We're about to bring on another program coach to take it off of me. I have designers, I got copywriters, but this is 4 or 5 years into it. You got to start small. Start with one person. So I don't see any other questions coming through. Dr. Camille, I don't know what web addresses those were. Shoot me a DM and remind me of what I was talking about, because I don't remember what email addresses those were, what web addresses. All right, y'all. So I see Dr. Ramon on. Hey, Dr. Ramon. He says outsourcing is the key to expansion. I've had a similar journey. That's it. That is it. You have to build your team, but you have to know how to do that. And let me tell you this. In building the team and in hiring a quality person, it doesn't necessarily always mean the cheapest. You can find some qualified, inexpensive people, but sometimes you're going to have to come out your back pocket to pay for the best. And it's as simple as that. So I hope that answered the question how I was able to manage. I started outsourcing. I started putting systems and procedures in place and building a team to help me manage it all, because I wasn't able to manage it all myself. And yes, I keep a coach. I got 2 coaches now. I got 3 coaches. I got a corporate speaking coach. I have I got into a mastermind earlier this year, and I'm about to get into another one for 2021 to actually help me with the 7-figure business. But this year, I've had several coaches. I've had launch strategist coaches, that have helped me have $50,000 and $60,000 launches. I've had 2 professional speaking coaches, and 2 speaking coaches, and I got 1 course that I wanted to try out. What coaching program have I done that's helped me the most? I don't know if there's one that's helped me the most. Any coach that I hired, Dr. Ramon, always was to help me solve a specific issue that I had, something that I wanted to solve. So I've been lucky enough to, and discerning enough to select excellent coaches that helped me with what I was trying to get help with. So because of that, because I'm very detail oriented and I'm very goal specific, I hire coaches for specific things, because there's never going to be one coach that's going to tell you everything. So like, this is what I was saying when I first started. When I first started, the very first coach I hired was $49. It was motivational calls every week. That was what I needed then. The first high ticket coach, well, what I considered high ticket is not high ticket. It was premium price. It was a $2,000 VIP day for 5 hours. And that 5 hours helped me restructure my offerings, increase my prices, and I hit my first 5-figure month the 90 days later. I wanted to do a challenge launch earlier this year. I did that. And I paid a coach close to $6,500 total. Yeah, and had I worked with this particular coach on several things. I probably paid her close to $7,500 over the course of the year, just with the different programs. With this one coach, I paid this year alone, it was $3,000 for a 3-hour session. Another one, the same coach, I paid her about $3,500 for a 4-week program, but it wasn't a 4-4. It was like 4 1-hour sessions. It was like 4 2-hours. It was supposed to be 1 hour, but we kind of went over. So it was like 4 2-hour sessions. So with that, I did a challenge launch, and then with the other one, we built out. I had a funnel going, and it wasn't working, so we built out a funnel. You actually came through that funnel, and it helped me to increase my conversions on my sales calls by about 80%. And then I worked with her recently to build out my quiz funnel. So if you've been on tonight's live, I've been saying, hey, make sure that you go to make sure that you go to figure out what type of book you should write to boost your brand or career. It's a quiz funnel. And each result maps to a different solution and a different funnel. And so I worked with her to create that. That was just this year, and that was just one person. So I'm saying that to say, Dr. Ramon, there isn't one coaching program that I've done that's helped me the most, more than any. I'm very goal specific with the coaches that I select and the programs that I get into. And because I'm very goal specific and I actually do the work, all of the programs that I've done have been highly beneficial. Hey, Elizabeth, you just took it. Excellent. Yes, I'm about to start ads on that. I'm glad that you think it's a great lead magnet. Tells you exactly what you need to know. So, Dr. Ramon, I hope that helped. I know that didn't quite answer your question, but that's my experience and that's my truth. Hey, everybody coming in. I see people popping in, dipping out, popping in, dipping out. You said, right. So, like, for instance, you hired me to help you write your book. And in writing your book, you're positioning yourself for some corporate contracts, book sales, and you've even up-leveled and been able to already funnel people into your coaching program. So now you're like, hey, this isn't sustainable. I'm about to have to do a group program. I'm like, okay, we can work on that. That's what we do in the mastermind. We focus on speaking and taking your one-on-one coaching program and teaching you how to automate sales from the stage and creating a high-level premium price group coaching program so that you can get $10K a month on autopilot. I can help you with that because I've done that. Now, if you say, listen, Jasmine, I'm trying to, I don't know, guys, there's not much I'm not teaching that you're not going to learn. If you say, I need, like say if, Dr. Ramon, say if you were brand spanking new, right? And you were trying to figure out your messaging. And you're like, I know I got a great idea, but I know that I need to really hone in on my messaging and my audience, and I really need clarity with that. I work with people who are already established. I will help you refine it, but you're talking about figuring it out from scratch. I'm going to direct you to somebody that's what they do, is brand messaging. All right, guys, I got to go. Jair, I'm coming. I promise. I promise I'm coming. I know. I told y'all he was waking up. He's going to be hungry. So, yeah, you got to figure out what it is you're looking for, what it is you need, and figure out somebody to help you do it. So, like, you want a group coaching program. You know I do group coaching programs because you're in one now. So, let me teach you how to turn your one-on-one into a premium priced group coaching program and build your and help you, like, really build out a team to help you facilitate all the back end, if that makes sense. And not just build out the coaching program, but the funnel to actually enroll people into it. All right, y'all. I know I've been on here for about an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and go, especially my son is screaming in the background, so now I got to edit that out. It's been a pleasure. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all. Again, if you have any questions, send me a DM. The team is off for the holidays. I'm supposed to be off too, all right? So if you send an email, we likely won't get it until January because the team is off. All right, Dr. Ramon, I know that you sent your email, so just be patient with us because we're off for the holidays. But we're going to get to you as soon as we come back off a break, okay? And actually, I'll go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll send you the link with an overview of the mastermind so that you can actually just take a look at the content, okay? All right, y'all. That's it for tonight. I'll see y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in.